How's it going, guys? It's your boy JoJo's Whips back with another video. And on today's video, I was going to go over a major issue that I'm having with my Tesla Model S Plaid, and it does affect the drivability of the car. And what that issue is the air compressor for the air suspension keeps getting disabled. Now, it could be a couple issues. There could be something wrong with maybe some fuse somewhere, or maybe just the air compressor and just needs to be replaced. And the car is still under warranty, but I've been kind of holding off because the car does have lowering links and it does have rear camber arms from Intuitive. So before I take it back, I got to put all the stock stuff back on. And I've been really holding off on doing it because then I got to go get the alignment redone. I was going to put the stock wheels back on. And the dealerships that are close to me, the closest one is about 2 hours. And they usually never have loaners, and I figured that this is probably going to be a pretty long time without having the car. So I've been really just kind of holding off, just trying to drive it as safely as possible. And so when the air compressor, when that disabled thing comes up on the dash, I'll put a picture of what it looks like. So as you guys can see what it looks like. So whenever that pops up, you're not able to raise the car. You can lower it, but you just cannot raise it. And that's a pretty big issue because with this car being even a little bit lower than it is factory. And for those of you guys right now, the car is on low mode. And typically on medium, it's a little bit higher. But on low mode, it's about negative 0.3 in the front and then negative 0.16 in the back. And sometimes when that air compressor light comes on, sometimes the car will just randomly it'll just drop all the way down to where then the front's 0.7 and then the rear is 0.5, to where then I actually have some sidewall damage of when that happened the other day. You could actually kind of see where it rubbed down here. You could see it actually tore into the tire a little bit because it went down pretty bad. And that is a pretty bad issue because it was pretty hard to drive the car, from what my wife said, because so our son's school, the car will raise there because their parking lot is really bad. It has a real big incline and it drops as soon as you turn in. So when that happened, it pretty much tore the tires up in the front. The rears looked fine, but the fronts got pretty tore up. So I've been kind of trying to battle the issue. And what's really weird is the whole drive. So the car's typically good at home. At home, you're able to raise it and everything. Sometimes the pop-up will pop up, but it's typically when you leave about a mile or two after you leave the house, going anywhere, the air pops up, and then the car cannot raise. So so you got to be very careful. And as far as the airing out all the way, that doesn't really happen as often. It's happened 2 times, and both times it happened to my wife and not me. But it's such a weird issue because then, driving, running errands, getting everything done, the car can't raise. Even at the safe locations, it still won't raise. But then whenever we pull into the driveway, then the car automatically randomly just raises, and then the air just goes away. It's so weird. I cannot figure out what it was. I was thinking maybe at first, it's maybe because I have the location saved to the house for it to raise it because it raises automatically when I pull into my driveway, just in case of anything. So I was thinking it was maybe that, but then I said, there was other places I went to, that the car didn't raise at all. And then sometimes when you're at the house, sometimes the air still there and then the car won't raise. And then like 20 or 30 minutes later, the car will randomly just raise. And it's such a weird situation. So there's definitely something going on. I've been really just holding off on going because I have a feeling this is going to be a long issue, as far as getting it fixed at the dealership. And before I take it to them, I got to put my stock stuff back on, my stock lowering links, and then the stock rear camber arms, which I've been kind of holding off on it because this is my daily driver. So I can't really not have a car for a while. And they typically never have loaners at that Tesla dealer. And it's about 2 hours away from me. So it's a pretty bad situation. So what I ended up doing to fix it, it's been good for the past 2 or 3 days now. I haven't had that air pop up. I ended up going through the settings, and I checked not through the settings, but if you guys have a Tesla and you know how to put it into service mode, if you guys don't know how to do that, there's plenty of videos on there. I would show you guys how to do it, but it puts your VIN number all over the screen, which I don't feel comfortable, recording that just in case if somebody's watching these videos. But what I pretty much just did was is there's actually some stuff you could do in there for the air suspension where you could test if all the bags are holding pressure, which they all are, and I've been keeping an eye on if they're all holding air, and they're all holding air perfectly fine. So it is something. Something definitely with the air compressor, and so I ended up also just disabling the air compressor completely, and I left that off for a couple of days, and then once I re-enabled it again, it was working fine for maybe a day or two. I had never got the pop-up again. Then randomly the pop-up came on again. So then what I ended up just doing then is just clearing all my saved locations. That way then the car just wouldn't try to raise up or anything. That way it could just hold air in the system. And then so then now I just manually raise it. I have the save location thing turned off completely. So then that way it does not try to use any extra air. So then that way, obviously then I'm not able to raise the car up, which that was a really big issue. And so yeah, so that's the one big problem. And there has been like a little issue. Sometimes when you open whichever door, a front door, driver door, passenger door, whichever door, there's this really loud screeching noise. It'll play sometimes for 2 seconds, sometimes for 1 second, and sometimes even for 10 seconds. It sounds like it's something like registering that the car door is open, but it's like a really loud screeching. It's really weird, typical Tesla stuff. But I'm pretty sure though with the air compressor, it could be something update related, because I've been having this issue about 2 days after I updated with the lock sounds. So for those of you that don't know that, if you could put lock sounds on the car now. So instead of when the car locks and it'll just do a normal beep, you could have it set to some of their pre-saved ones, or you could just do a custom one that you do with your own flash drive, which I have the window shutdown one, which that's a pretty common one that I've been seeing. I think it's just a funny one to have. But ever since the update came out, I've been having the air compressor issue. And then this new other issue that started happening yesterday when you open the door and it makes that really loud screeching noise. It's something booting up. I don't know what it is. It's really weird though. But I think my time with this car might be almost coming up here pretty soon. But I really do love this car. And with situations like this happening, as long as they don't keep happening, but I feel like lately there's been quite a few little things happening. There's been other little things too, but those have completely gone away. But yeah, with the closest, dealership being 2 hours away / service center, and them never having loaner cars and, and whatnot, and I honestly would hate to own this car after the warranty's up, because this car's literally nothing but computers. So I'm not quite sure what I'm going to get next. I probably will be getting like a 06 or an 07 cat-eye dually, diesel truck. That way I could get a car trailer. So if I ever want to take, either the Audi once it's done or the Caprice, to anywhere, if I ever want to go down to South Florida with them or go anywhere with them, I could, me and my family could all just jump in the truck with the car trailer and just take the cars, wherever we want to go. But I think that's what I'm going to end up doing. But I'm not quite sure, time could tell. I might even get a different truck, but I'm still up in the air on what I'm going to do. Because, I'm not going to lie, though. When this car is perfect, it drives really good and stuff. But, this car, you cannot compare this car, though, to, my Audi S4. This car, when you drive it, is, a million times better than driving this. And I know some of you guys would say I'm crazy. But, there's nothing like driving, V6 manual, single turbo compared to this. Yes, this is very fast, or well, some people say quick, but you just can't compare the two because, as everybody says, these cars are completely soulless. But as far as the daily driver, though, they are very, very good. Like I said, I've done no maintenance on the car, haven't done anything with the brakes, literally nothing, which by now with my with all the Hellcats I had, and then my Red Eye, and then the Trackhawk, typically you got to change them. I was changing the oil every 2,000 to 3,000 miles, just because, as soon as that oil gets a little bit dark, I change it out because, kind of keep those motors going. But I do drive a lot. So, that's why I was kind of like, this, having to get to the dealer, or whenever I would do it, when I would have the time, I would just do it myself. But yeah, as far as the daily driver, though, I will recommend this car 100%, as long as it doesn't have any issues, which, like I said, the past 30,000 miles, the car's been perfectly fine. Up until now, I kind of feel like once I pass, like, you know, if I do keep the car and it hits that 50,000 mile mark and then that bumper to bumper warranty ends, I do feel like this car will probably start hitting a bunch more issues because, you know, these cars with the amount of computers in them, I'm sure they probably have something programmed in them that say, hey, we hit that 50,000 mile mark. Now we could kind of start loosening up a little bit. But yeah, so that's where I'm at right now. It's like maybe like an 80% sure that I'm going to be getting rid of the car here pretty soon. And that's the charging door. That thing just randomly opens and closes. That's one other thing that's very annoying, is that's been happening with this car. It's just I don't have the time to take it down, you know, 2 hours away and just have the car gone for a while. So just before I end the video, guys, I bumped into another problem. So, and as I say that, then this just wants to randomly open, but can't get the car open. This is the driver door, so this is the important door. You know, if it was the back door, you know, it'd still be an issue, but it wouldn't be a day-to-day problem. But so if I just push it in, then the door handle overextends, then it wants to open. Then it like halfway closes. Then like then you see that it does that. So there's something wrong with this now too as well. But if you smack it, then the door wants to open. But yeah, guys, you cannot make this up. This is, I don't know, this is pretty interesting though. This is gonna push my, hopefully this is just like a little bit of a problem and just kind of fixes itself before I get rid of it. But I mean, this is, yeah, this is, if I tap it, the door will open. But yeah, guys, figured I'd add this clip in here too, just so I can show you guys another problem I'm having. But besides for that, and then we're going to be having some more videos on Audi S4 if anybody's interested. And I've been holding off on the Caprice build because I got a couple more things I got to do. And I also got to hit the trim lady up because she does have the trim for that car. So I could get that car kind of started and rolled on because I haven't really done anything with it. But yeah, so I just wanted to give you guys an update. And this is JoJo's Whips, and I'm out.